Mm-hmm.
Alright, let us continue our Pillars of Eternity run. Looks like we'll be finishing up White March Part 2 DLC today. So let's go ahead and get on auto here. There's always one person who has to get caught. Stupid branch. Now all we have is the ending of DLC 2 to do, so we'll definitely finish the DLC, probably work on cleaning up the remainder of the side quests in the regular part of the game, and then on to the last zone. First, we're gonna stay at Stalwart Village and rest up a bit, get a buff, and then we'll head to the place with the Hammerhead Eyeless guys. It'll be good to have the DLC done. Then we could. There's nothing holding us back from the. Sorry. Nothing holding us back from the rest of the game.
Come to find, there's no ambush. The troops were arguing over the bounty.
Sounds like my kids.
You haven't seen them in what, 5 years?
The only reason I'm going to Stalwart first is a couple of my guys have health that's a little below max. So we're just going to top them off and then we'll leave.
Back to warm your hands, eh? What can I do for you? Top quality bear pelts.
Lasts for one rest. So as long as I don't rest again, I'll have that buff. Okay. Hopefully, even if I zone, it works like that.
And then you hit your own father?
Not I. That was Isilmir.
Yeah, but you're the same person.
Fine cock's feathers to that!
I see your point.
Alright. Where's the place? Carrion Scar. Alright, last zone of the DLC.
However, there still remains. We have heavy evidence that you did in fact harm Dolva very grievously. And you have no proof to back up that what we have is false. And I can't get you proof either. No.
Make your way to the fragment of Iona Brather. Alright. First, let's see how to use the various abilities they gave us from having allies.
Yeah.
Okay, there's the Burning Pitch. There's the Heavy Cannon Blast. And there's the Horn.
Possibly a war horn was around all the time.
Okay, that's where I have to get.
Once more I am called upon to set right the gods' transgressions. It has become a tiring refrain.
Looking forward to getting the DLC over with. Then we're on the home stretch.
Let's go!
Okay, minus 5% attack speed, 4 constitution, 15% armor damage reduction when endurance blow. It's okay, but it's not gonna. I'm not gonna replace any of my existing rings with it. Whoever this was, he's been long dead. What remains of the flesh is blackened and frozen solid. Touch the corpse. This crater worries you and your 3 companions. It feels wrong, tainted, but the lure of riches is stronger. That giant rock in the center of the lake might contain gold, gems, more. It took a week of backbreaking labor, but the boat is finished. It may not be entirely watertight, but it'll be enough to get you across the lake and back. You set off from shore, the icy wind filling the sail. Sedon grins at you. He expressed the most doubt that the boat would float. A moment later, he's gone, barely managing to scream as a gigantic tentacle yanks him from the boat and under the water. Octopus? Kraken? What's the squid? Giant squid? More tentacles emerge from the water. The air is filled with the sound of cracking and splintered wood as the boat gets pulled apart. You dive into the water without a second thought and begin swimming madly for shore, hoping your friends are doing the same. Your heavy furs weigh you down, but by some miracle you make it to land. You hear a burbling sound and look up to see one of the fish people, a Lagafaith, standing over you, its spear raised. You rise to your knees, your hands raised, showing you have no weapons, that you pose no threat. The Lagafaith makes the sound again. Wait, you start to say, but the creature drives its spear deep into your chest before you can say anything else. Mercifully, the agony is brief before the world fades.
Take that!
Right.
Okay, so there's a way across here. So what's up here then?
Let me bring this to a spearhead. We have substantial information that you did in fact harm Dover, and we demand your information.
Let's go.
Take that!
They kind of came out of nowhere.
Can't get a good shot with this.
Grimoire.
Yeah.
And what does the flame reveal?
Let's go.
Monk, Diamedo, Paladin, Cypher, Priest. Okay.
I'm here.
Settle!
That's it!
Okay, that's not a bad neck. Let's see if that's an upgrade for anybody. It's only 2 might. We'll check it, but I don't think that's going to be an upgrade.
I'll have it in no time.
Yes, I want to
The
unlock
work
it.
of a moment.
Dang it. The trap should be detected prior to the lockpicking. Oh, well, that's going down. Let's see. Let's give that to him. And a ring. Let's give that to him. Okay, the gauntlets, while okay or not,
Huh?
replacing anything in this party. Cold water drips from the roof of this yurt and puddles in the hearth.
Nice and quiet.
These traps must be high-end, my guys canna. Okay, let's go ahead and rest then. Someone carved a swirling crescent into the bench. This yurt reeks of stale sweat. There's only one bedroll inside. Fish bones lie among the coils. This yurt is empty but for a few heavy bedrolls.
Light, flame, and sound. We'll keep to ourselves.
I don't think I want to go down here. If I go down here, I'm going to come across those guys. And I think I want to sneak around across the ice floes.
Take that!
Okay, so far we've just killed some Andrite followers. We're not going over here because I think there's Hammerhead guys here. Or the eyeless there. I want to see what this path is that you can cross. Or I assume you could cross. There's like a choose your own adventure style sequence here. A span of ice flows separates two larger sheets. The flows continuously roil the water and bump into each other with arrhythmic cracks. Despite their unstable positions, the flows are packed tightly enough that it's possible you could leap across the span. Still, anyone short on grace and balance stands a good chance of sliding off the ice and into the frigid waters. Blast of Frost. Cast the spell Blast of Frost on the ice flows. As you work your magic, the water between the flows crystallizes into a sturdy lattice of clear ice. Given the size of the flows, it is unlikely to keep the whole span stable for long. In fact, you can already hear a few of the larger pieces creaking against their temporary moorings. Jump across the floes. Oh, pardon me. Your weight causes a number of floes to crack and shift dangerously as you cross, but the magic holds enough that you aren't launched into the water. With careful deliberation and cautious movements, you reach the other side safely.
I shall be discreet.
Okay, so I'm here.
We will continue in good terms so long as you get down to the bottom of this. This is actually fine evidence that you did play a part in harming Dola and their party. You've been lying this entire time.
That's not
Can't get.
This thing isn't doing the job.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
That's not very helpful.
Let's go. Yeah.
I'll see what's ahead.
Sure.
You can just make out the blurred shape of an eyeless behind the ice. Okay, so I definitely have to go around.
Join arms.
Can't. I'm here.
Don't even...
Take that! Woo!
Okay. These eyeless are pretty cool enemies.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I'm just getting in touch with my feng shui.
Okay, so it looks like you
Sure.
have to go around.
Let's go.
How may I
Can't
help?
get a good shot.
That's not very helpful.
Okay, so we got Kraken tentacles. She can focus on one. He can knock down him. He can focus on the other. He can do that. She can focus on that one as well. And then he can work on this guy.
Lead the way.
Take that!
Why aren't you attacking the other tentacle?
Lead the
I
way.
told you to.
That.
Dead on! Dead on!
Didn't we already fight these things?
Let's go.
That's it!
Okay, so that are the tentacles that I
Another
read
of
about.
Andra's mindless servants. I'll see her paid for this.
Damn.
That's not very helpful.
Can't get a good shot with.
right then.
Mm-hmm.
Figure we experienced enough of the map, might as well clear up the fog of war and the rest of it. Can't speak tonight.
Hey,
Can't get a good shot with this.
really got it in for us.
Okay, so time to go over here. We'll have cleared the map. Excellent. I'm kind of glad I made my guys, as I leveled up, strong versus vessels or what have you. A lot of them. Okay, before I go here, I know there's at least a few guys here. I'm gonna rest so I could reuse my special abilities. Oh. I wonder if Andra, if this is close enough for Andra. No, I guess not. Let's save our game, because there's like 3 of these hammer guys here. The eyeless hammers. I'm not going to use any of the abilities right off if I could help it. None of the special eyeless special abilities. Oh, just like that. Destroyed because of the Andra, or because of the hammer I got. So let's do the same with this guy. Didn't even get a chance to knock him down. Okay, here's where we do the heavy cannons.
Join arms.
Hey.
Okay, they don't want to be able to reach them, then we'll just split them up.
I'm here.
Lavaru, be on seek!
Oh my god, get out of the way.
Yeah.
Okay, that didn't go too bad. Let's save before we go in. I'm sorry. Okay, I can't even remember if I saved. My memory's getting such shit tier. Okay, now I know I saved. Inside, the piece of the moon. Make your way to get to the crystal at the bottom. It's a fairly big place. Let's go ahead and save. Since this is dungeon, we'll sneak our way through. So far, it's not been too hard. I'm in a pretty good situation to deal with these hammer guys with all my abilities.
Slow and silent.
Yeah.
Oh, I lost the big AoE abilities because I'm not outside anymore.
Right.
Though. Oh, more tentacles to deal with. Hair of Andra. Columns of water rise up from the pool in front of you, shifting and writhing, whipping air around them in a vortex. This can only be Andra's hair, appearing before you at a fraction of the size typically reported by mariners, unfortunate enough to encounter them on the high seas.
You have done well to have come so far. I confess I was not certain you would make it, but I do not wish to give false hope. The greater challenge remains in front of you.
Rational or Stoic is my guy, so I'll go Stoic. I am ready.
Running through the core of this rock is a large growth of crystal. You will know it when you see it. A blow to the crystal would reverberate through the walls of this place. Strike it enough and the entire structure would crumble. The eyeless would be buried. Of course, it would take a person years to cause enough damage.
What did you have in mind?
Strike the crystal with Obidon's hammer. The eyeless will wake and come to its call. Join in striking the crystal. They will cluster together and bury themselves. I have realized it is best that they should be ended, for within each of them is a small piece of Obidon himself. Upon their deaths, those fragments and the memories they contain will be safely dispersed. I had not considered the dangers of allowing them to persist. until a watcher appeared at my abbey.
What aren't you telling me?
A single strike upon the crystal will not be enough. The eyeless respond only as long as the hammer rings. You will need to remain until their work is complete, wielding the hammer until the walls come crumbling down.
If the eyeless won't stop until I am dead, I might as well return the favor.
It is a difficult thing to accept that one's dying day has already been marked. It is good that you have no illusions about your own. The eyeless cannot be reasoned with or fled from. One day not far from now, they would kill you and level the Deerwood. You have seen what they will do. This is the way you can stop them. And the truth is that you are marked by the eyeless for a reason. It would be better for all if the things you have seen were forgotten.
Bad way to go. Maybe we should just hang ourselves.
A clean slate for us and the world. Maybe that's not such a bad thing.
The watery column drops all at once back into the pool, sending up a small splash. The pool settles, and looking down into it, you see only the faces of you and your companions, alone and condemned. Not buying it. There's a way out. There's always a way out.
Yeah.
Shh. Hey.
Let's try that again.
That's not very helpful.
Right.
Laying low.
Let's go.
Hey.
Get a good shot at this. Get a good shot at this. Get a good shot at this.
That's not very helpful.
Attack.
That's not very helpful. Riff Uligna.
Let's go. Let's go.
Beyond.
This is getting nowhere.
Can't get a good. Good shit. Can't get a.
Last one. At least right here.
Let's go.
Keeping an eye out.
Oh, what's this? Frozen eyeless. Looks like. Yep, that's exactly what that is. Okay, let's see what is here. Let's save first. Judging by claw marks and scales around the edges of the pool, you believe it is regularly used by Lagaveth. You see something shimmering in the depths of the frigid, murky water. Send Sagani. Sagani dives in and immediately feels the cold bite of the water. The water is calm, but a person with a weak constitution will suffer greatly if submerged for more than a few moments. Dive towards the shimmering light. The ice-cold water is too intense. Sagani reaches the source of the glinting at the bottom of the cave, but is already going numb. Sagani quickly recovers a cache of Lagaveth treasures, including a variety of coins, a set of surprisingly well-preserved plate greaves. Unfortunately, the disturbance of the horde was observed by a pack of Lagaveth that are swimming over to investigate. Hiding from the Lagaveth will be difficult, but attempting to outswim them would require phenomenal athletic ability. Attempt to hide. The Lagaveth circle around, looking for the source of the disturbance, but don't notice Sagani. After a frustratingly fruitless search, they lose interest and swim off. Sagani returns to the surface with the treasure. The Lagaveth do not follow. %5 armor speed penalty. $3 damage reduction. Grants wild sprint 1 per rest. Sturdy. 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 Major spell. Invigorate. Sturdy. They're not really overly good.
Yeah.
I'll see what's ahead.
Let's go.
Can't get a.
Lead the way.
Can't get a good...
These are the creatures I have to
Right.
fear. I'm tearing through them like nothing.
I'll see what I can find.
Okay, let's go ahead and save. Well, seems like a good spot for it. Okay, this must be the place I have to do the hammer thing with. Oh, what's that? Oh, that's the hammer.
A safe distance.
No, probably not.
Hey,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Definitely, let's go ahead and save.
How may I help?
A ridge overlooks a broad chamber half flooded with lake water. You could crawl down this way, but it looks too steep and slick to climb back up. Climb down.
quarter to...
Defeat the Kraken. Okay, let's send those two. Actually, knock down. Boom. 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 Boom.
For a while, looked like that. Tentacles and all.
Oh wait. If the tentacles are coming to me, kill them.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
How may I help?
Oh, here comes more Eyeless.
Hey.
Let's try that again. Dead on. Dead on.
Margaren's fire casts light in dark places.
Gonna check out this place before we just go doing the quest. Make sure there's no hidden treasure. Looks like the paths I could walk are limited. Okay,
I'm
so
here.
her here to defend, him here to defend,
Yeah.
him here, him back there,
How may I help?
back there,
I'm here.
back there. Let's go ahead and save our game. Alright, this should be the last thing, I would think.
Yeah.
Hello? Okay, there we go. An enormous crystal juts from the wall like a spearhead protruding from a wound. An army of reflections stares back at you from the crystal's perfect facets. It echoes the sounds of your footsteps in soft ringing hums.
Let me do this. I've spent so long regretting my choices. It would be good to balance the scales.
Someone will have to take up Abaddon's hammer and strike the crystal. And Dondra warned you that whoever does so will be buried in this place with Eyeless. Whom do you choose? Step back and consider this further. Okay, let's rest first. I predict a big fight coming. I don't think they'd allow me to lose my character. I'm inclined to let my character do it.
Let me do this.
You
Yourself.
have led us bravely. It has been an honor to follow your lead.
I wish they knew you like I did.
Sook will sing your name alongside Persok's.
Straight into the fire, then. Your chances aren't favorable, but at least you've learned to embrace the test. I told you I'd be good for you, Watcher.
You're a brave soul. Wish I'd met you sooner.
You heft the hammer and swing it at the crystal. A perfect clear tone rings through the air and resonates through your teeth. Seconds later, ripples shiver through the water. Something big is coming. You give the others a final nod. The rest of the party scrambles out of the flooded cavern and flees through the tunnels. You continue and hammer at the crystal, each strike magnifying the last. The echoes build into physical tremors. Meanwhile, a heavier rhythm pulses through the cave. Footsteps, dozens of them. The others round a corner only to see a line of violets advancing. The creatures stagger to the rim of the hammer's thuds below, yet they crane their necks towards the party, ratcheting back their pistons' arms. Let's cast Repulsant Seal. Consider who will cast it. Durance. A glowing seal blooms from the ground. The first two Eyeless step onto it and fall backwards, taking most of the others with them. Dodge past the Eyeless. The party sprints past the distracted monsters. Fortunately, the creatures are too focused on the hammering to give chase. They continue towards the cavern. You maintain a steady tempo on the crystal. Eyeless gather in the cavern, where they batter the walls in time with the hammer's rhythmic blows. The ground shakes. Falling rocks and shattering crystals splash to the ground. The party flees through the dark, rumbling corridors. More spellbound Eyeless shamble along, but they're too entranced by the swelling cadence to take more than an idle swipe at the party. The tunnel narrows, light filters through ahead. The exit must be around the next bend. But it's clogged with rubble. Meanwhile, the ground drops several feet at once, and the tunnel begins rolling on its axis. The distant sound of rushing water echoes from the cavern. Lever the rubble with the pry bar. There must be a weak spot, but it will take a practiced eye to find it. Who will clear the way? Let's do Eder. Eder wedges the pry bar into several different nooks, but can't seem to find a leverage point. There must be a weak spot, but it will take the practiced eye to find it. Aloth? Aloth notices a loose boulder and wedges the pry bar beneath it. A gentle nudge knocks it loose and sends the rubble rolling away. The moon shudders again. The party escapes onto the ice just as another thunderous crash sounds from below. Eyeless continue pouring into the cavern from every visible tunnel and crevice. Your ears ring at the ever-growing cacophony of smashing rock and shattering crystal. Meanwhile, the water level's rising. A skull-splitting crack rends the air, and a surge of water knocks you from your feet. The entire cavern rotates, plunging you into a freezing soup of jagged metal, torn flesh, and stone. The others dash across the lake. The ice squeals and crackles, rocking dangerously underfoot. The sinking moon groans. Long fissures race across the ice. Scout for a more stable place to cross. The surface of the ice is riddled with cracks. Only someone who knows what to look for can find safe passage. Sagani, definitely. She grew up in places like this. Sagani charts a careful path across the ice, skirting cracks and dodging thin patches. The rest of the party follows. At last, everyone reaches the safety of the shore. In the middle of the lake, only the tip of the moon is still visible above the ice. The survivors watch in silence as it sinks into the depths. The world seems to be falling apart in slow motion. You sink into the lake alongside the dark shapes of moon fragments and crushed eyeless. Your limbs ache and your lungs burn. Sparks flicker across your vision. Not sparks, scales. Lagaveth gather in front of you, and you notice something unusual in their iridescent eyes. A spark of uncommon intelligence. You hear a whisper in your mind. You freed us from our prison in Durgan's Battery. Consider our debt repaid. Oh, the dwarves are saving my ass. The Lagaveth, possessed by the spirits of Maron and some of the other Grunin, swarm and rush you to the surface. At last, you reach the shallows. You punch through a thin crust of ice and crawl ashore, trembling but alive. Hey, I'm alive. I didn't want to risk one of my party members doing it. My guy wielded the hammer. My guy is the watcher. It's my guy's responsibility. You stand at the edge of the lake. The bobbing of the ice and the rippling of the water surface slows until you're looking at a moment frozen in time. When the world begins moving once more, it moves in reverse. The surface of the water churns and roils like it's about to spew something up. And it does. The fragments of Iona Breather rises, unbroken. Ice reforms across the surface of the lake, spreading along freezing fingers. Eyeless file out of the moon fragment and onto the ice. They wind around the moon in an ever-widening spiral. They stop as the head of their line reaches you. They speak in a single voice that resonates with grinding metal and hissing steam.
We shatter and sink, discarded like worn tools. Why have you consigned us to oblivion?
You would have destroyed Caed Nua, Durgan's Battery, and more. Their protest is as sharp as squealing metal.
Blasphemy! These are jewels of civilization. They are sacred. We would sooner sacrifice our own bodies than dislodge a single stone from such a place.
Why do you torment us with baseless accusations?
Andra changed you from a preserver to a destroyer. The eyeless are still, but you hear their gears whir as their collective spirits ponder this.
Then we were betrayed.
That depends on how you look at it.
A part of ourselves was cut away. And we were made to betray something we cherish.
The legacy of the Nguithians, you mean?
The bedrock of civilization.
What is this?
Each culture builds on the bones of the last. Yet many only look up at where they would go, never down at the foundations that bear them. Like a mason who builds a listing tower.
The remaining ice sheet cracks and groans.
What peril do they inflict on their progeny? And what dishonor on their forebears?
You hear the strain of crumbling stone in the voice of the eyeless. You think it unwise to forget the past.
It is unwise to douse a lamp in darkness, to cut the legs from a table. This forgetting is suicide, heresy. Every advance in the crafts and institutions of Kith was forged by skill and sacrifice.
You feel these words and the anger behind them in your bones.
A people cut off from their history will wither, and they deserve no less.
Then what do you suggest?
To pull the blinders from the eyes of gods and Kith. That is why we must return to ourself and restore Abidan.
What do you mean about returning to yourself?
When Ione Brotha fell, Abidan lost much. His will to preserve, the memory of how and why he died. But he built us with fragments of his own soul. In returning, we can restore what was taken from him.
You speak as if history were a guide, yet it doesn't always provide a good example.
Then do not look to it for one. History is not a moral force, but a set of facts. These facts show Kith where they have come from, and how to move forward.
The Pargronen were obsessed with the past. They died in the keep they'd built to honor it. The Dear Woodens and Glonfadlins have fought 2 wars there over their history, and they still haven't moved forward. Stalwart and Iron Flail remain at odds, even in the face of a bigger threat, all because of their history. Let's do the number 2.
But the memory of those wars has likely saved them from another now, when it would shatter a Barondir would.
That's not saying much. Better if the 2 nations could form a stronger accord.
And how are such ties forged but through years of peace? You speak of a worthy goal, but only a steadily built history can achieve it.
Stalwart and the Iron Flail remained at odds even in the face of a bigger threat, all because of their history.
The problem is not that they remember too much of their history, but rather too little.
The ice underfoot becomes suddenly clear. Between your boots, you see an ocean separating Adir and the Eastern Reach.
Great Serens and Dear Woodens alike began as pioneers from Adir. They all came seeking opportunity.
Boats as small as ants crawl across the glassy blue.
Were they to look farther back, they would see their common origins and desires.
The ice dulls and thickens once more. But the experience of history is subjective. People remember what feels immediate and personal, just as you remember your own betrayal. That would not change that they want different things now. Shared history will never trump present circumstances. Let's go with number 1.
A painful truth.
They pause, recalling their suffering. You feel it radiate from them like heat.
Maybe so. But we would not cast history aside over one such example.
The Pargrunen were obsessed with the past. They died at the keep they built to honor it.
And their brethren have built a culture that stretches across Eora. All because they recognize the importance of their shared legacy.
Legacy is an idea. We shouldn't prize it over the lives and well-being of Kith.
You mourn the death of thousands for something that guides and inspires millions. There are always casualties.
I've said my piece.
And we have listened.
Memory remains a burden, even when the events and people it recalls are long gone. It's pain with no purpose.
Burdens strengthen the bearer, and they warn against repeated mistakes. Why would you discard them so hastily?
Minea shouldn't have to suffer guilt over an act she committed in a past life.
Pleasing or no, that memory was a part of her. In surrendering it, she lost a part of herself.
She didn't surrender it, though.
The part that spent every waking hour obsessed with old history, perhaps. What I lost was a burden, and one that bent me over for years.
It would be better if Kith did not become trapped by guilt, sorrow, and shame. But we speak of what should be. You recognize what is. Yet such destructive memories are rare. Surely others are strengthened by retrospection, even amidst pain.
I'm awakened. I'm tormented by questions from a past life.
A rare opportunity, for you have the chance to answer them, to do things left undone.
The creatures raise their misshapen arms, and the voice of their souls is as deep and melodious as a bell. Sometimes moving on is the way to move forward. Remaining stuck in the past is not progress.
That presumes that some questions cannot be resolved.
The souls ponder this.
We confess that we had little understood how memory shapes and stunts Kith. Even so, we must restore Abidan.
Very well. Return to yourself and be the god of preservation once more.
We shall see this world and its people restored.
A great wind shoves at your back. Your ears pop and you feel a moment as if all the ears being sucked from the sky. Suddenly it ends, and you're standing in the snow looking over Kairon Scar.
The Eyeless disappeared beneath the lake, their bond to Andra finally severed. With this threat ended, hope returned to the White March. Hunters returned to the wildernesses, and travelers to the roads. Tales of the Watcher's bravery replaced stories of monsters in the woods. The villagers of Stalwart busied their hands with work and their tongues with song, eager to seize on the promise of peace.
Abaddon's Hammer. All soulbound upgrades are complete. Major adventure completed. Okay, let's take a look. Okay. Slow. Bit more damage. Well, DLC 2 is done.
Could fit a whole village in here.
Prestigious visitor, living in a few days.
Hey.
Huh? Huh? Mm-hmm.
I trust all is well.
Well met, friend.
Huh?
This hinged mold has the amazing power to fully duplicate non-soul-bound weapons, shields, armor, and other equipment placed inside of it. The immense magical energy required to fabricate the copy uses the mold for raw material and wholly consumes it in the process. I'm just going to leave that for now. I don't know what I want to use that on, if anything. We'll just leave that. We're going to rest, and then we're going to go do this quest. This one we'll be doing when we leave for the last place, and then we'll do this quest and then this quest, and then we'll be ready to beat the game. I don't know about tonight, but if not, Maybe I'll just stream longer and just get it wrapped up. It depends on how long the rest take. Last for 3 rests. Let's do it. Craghold. Alright, let's head there. The DLC for the game was really good. I like the Eyeless. They're cool enemies. I like the whole Abaddon thing.
I don't want to bring that up. There's only so much that I can trust the hang on. Only so much. What's going on, Hoop?
My party should be strong enough to handle this place now, I think. If I remember right, I have to defeat enemies in various confined little rooms.
I think I know what thing you're talking about. I think. I'm gonna go to walking, actually. Now, before we go to walking, I need to go grab some food. 'Cause I am starving.
Okay, that's where I need the...
Good to see you, buddy.
I need the sigils to open that door.
And what does the...
I'll see what I can do.
This will be the first door I go in, so let's save our game. The dwarf whirls to face you. Her face and throat are twisted with fresh scar tissue. Her remaining eye narrows as she assesses you. Out! Her voice is a little more than a croak as she points you to the door. I'm looking for the key to Consul Hutt's chamber. Let's just cut right through it. She utters a choke and mangled laugh and raises her grimoire. Okay, so... let's have him focus on... there. Let's have him focus on her. She can focus on that. He can also focus on that. He can focus on that. Knock him down again.
Ready, watch.
Yes?
Okay, no, not that. Not bad at all. Good job, guys.
Margaren's fire casts light in dark places.
Exceptional Scepter, Grimoire can go to him. Of Deflection. That's only okay. Okay, none of that stuff's so really good. Sable's note. Sable, it gives me pride to see what you've suffered for your craft. The other apprentice may be more learned than you, but none match your tenacity. For you understand something they do not. Your body's a shell. If you are to achieve the power you desire, you will outlive it. Your fellows fight and scheme against one another. Only you recognize your true foe.
Sure.
Liquid metal drips from the dangling skeleton. Something bubbles and hisses within this vat. Its metal sides are hot enough to scald.
The work of a moment.
Huh? Huh?
Exceptional bunch of crap for it being locked away. Sable's research notes. Success with the new formula. The bonding with the vessel material is twice as strong as before. Presentation for Conceal Hot will be excellent. Need to acquire more skeletons first before I can demonstrate my experiment to the other apprentices.
Right.
Nice and slow. I'll see what I can do. The work of a moment.
Tell me.
Let's go. Let's go. Yeah.
And what does the flame reveal?
Well, let's go ahead and camp since, you know, it's giving us a campfire. We'll camp, refresh our buff, and still be at max campfires. Any spells that he can learn? Nope. Okay, Okay, let's go ahead and save this, since we got one batch down. Pelton. The laboratory reeks of rotting flesh, but the elf doesn't seem to notice. He's busy writing notes onto a small book, and he doesn't even look up as you approach. But he frowns when your shadows fall across his page.
Stand back, ghoul. I'll summon you when I have need of you.
He points to a dim corner of the laboratory. Stay where you are. He finally looks up at you, startled and irritated.
Effigy's eyes. Who are you?
He shakes his head and waves a hand, nearly grazing you with his pen.
I don't have time for this. Get out of here and leave me to my work, all right?
These ghouls are different, more docile and less rotten.
I should hope so. I've been trying to stabilize them, prevent them from decaying further.
He looks at you out of the corners of his eyes.
Of course, the process is not yet complete.
Can you tell me anything about Concealhawk? He glances up long enough to shoot you a suspicious glare.
If you've never studied his repertoire of spell work, never read of his accomplishments in Maestra Albena's Histories of Modern Magic, and somehow missed the small army he's held back outside, then no, I don't know what to tell you. Except that he's a powerful wizard with little patience.
He licks his thumb and turns a page. What do you know about Craggle?
Why must you bother me with such inane questions? Go interrupt one of the other apprentices. Their time is much less valuable than mine.
I want your portion of the key. He looks up, his cheeks flushed and his eyes wide and wounded.
Has my progress been too slow? Did Consulhot send you to... No matter.
He snaps his book shut and raises his hand, an incantation already on his lips. So we'll just interrupt that incantation. We'll attack that. We'll attack that.
I swear to God, Gary's creepy. He's perfect, though.
We'll attack that. Wait.
Poison elk on your face, and assure you it's not venomous fuck. I've had poison oak. It sucks. I'm sorry.
Attack that. Attack that. Attack that. Everybody's got a job. Do your job, everybody.
Yes?
Let's go. Let's go.
The creature in the tank remains still, but its eyes follow you as you get close.
Oh, and if I find something good, you can have half.
Okay, another one of those. Not interested. Nah. Peldon, you're the most talented of my apprentices, but your understanding is merely a page among the tomes of knowledge I've accumulated. Curb your pride until you've earned it. No weakness is deadlier. I can almost see your hands shaking and your face reddening as you read this. You think that mastering a few basic hexes makes you my worthy pupil? I'd crafted the parasitic staff when I was half your age, and while I worked, my peers plotted against me. You may surpass the others for now, but they will band together against you if you give them reason. Conceal your skill with mistakes. Hide your malice behind smiles. Sacrifice your vanity for a few precious years that you might survive long enough to earn the title of wizard. Peldon's research note. As if I'd leave notes on my experiments for anyone to find. But while you're reading this, Uruk-hai, if one of your weapons wanders in here again, I'm keeping it. Sable, I've never talked to you, but stay out of my lab anyways. Tanos, I doubt you can even read, but I'm feeding your minions to my test subjects the next time I catch one of them loitering outside my lab.
Aye? The work of a moment.
Nothing can be learned from this grimoire. Aloth is just as good a wizard as them. Okay, let's move everybody away. Except for Eder. In case there's a trap, which there probably will be. Oh, no trap. Oh, that's kind of crap. And that's also kind of crap. Okay, on to the next. That's the way I came in. It looks like I only have one left.
And what does the flame reveal?
Watch it! Distract me again and you're like to lose an eye.
Even as she speaks, the Amao looks not at you, but at a row of weapons laid out on a table. Who else is in Cragholt?
Aside from me, there are 3 other apprentices working on their own projects. I don't know anything about Sabal or Peldon, but stay away from Tanos, the Vithrek. There's something about him I don't trust. Need something? I'm still busy here.
She places a dagger on a scale and scrawls a note on the parchment beside her. What are you doing?
Cataloging weights, centers of gravity. Controlling a 3.5-foot blade in the air is harder than it looks.
She balances a sword between her index finger and jots a note. Aren't you concerned about the siege outside?
Consul Hot hasn't even bothered to come out of his study since the attack started, so why should I worry?
I'm surprised I'm allowed to wander so freely.
If Consul Hot didn't want you here, you'd have known it the moment you came down those stairs. And then you'd be dead. If you were lucky.
Tell me about Consul Hot.
He's not someone you want to cross. Or disappoint. You know, I really should get back to work.
I'm here for your piece of the key.
That filthy spider put you up to this? He's using you, you know. Thinks he can control you like one of his mindless puppets.
Her eyes dart from the weapons on her work table to you.
Tell you what, you help me instead, and I'll give you whatever he's offered, plus a little extra. Deal?
No deal. Okay. So, let's do that to her. He can knock down this thing. She can attack this. He can also attack this. He can cast Chain Lightning. He can, or she can attack this one. And he can attack that as well.
Over here.
Let's go. Let's go.
That didn't work.
I'll see what I can find.
Let's see. None of these weapons are going to be any good. Let's check that, though. Let's check that ring. That might be an upgrade for somebody. Urukai's note. Urukai, you tinker with blades and bludgeons while your peers shape the bodies and minds of Kith, and they look down on you for it. Let them. Spell work often attracts a certain kind of mind, one drawn to the mystery and theater of grand arcane spectacle. But you are burdened with no such pretension. You see magic for what it is. Power, raw and malleable. You shape it as best it suits your needs, and this is what gives you the greatest spells, their strength. While the other apprentices are still perfecting their own ambitious spells, you will complete yours. When that day comes, strike them down and do not hesitate. Okay, let's check the rings. That okay. Hey, a spell to learn. Alright. Finally, one of these things has worked.
Huh?
The white that wins. Okay. The shelf has been nicked and notched all along its length.
I'll see what I can do.
See, I need a way to increase my mechanics skill. Let's see if I can craft a food that does that. Or a scroll, maybe a scroll. Maybe a potion. So it doesn't look that way. Maybe I have some already that will work. It can't be that important what's inside there.
Yeah.
What do you suppose that bally thing is?
Oh, some Durgan iron ingots, alright. Enchantment duration on the animated weapons remains inconsistent. I've ruled out weapon type and material, but it's frustrating when the exact same procedure on an identical weapon yields different results. The smell from Peldon's lab doesn't help things either. The elders are counting on me to alter the balance of power on the isle in our tribe's favor. If I don't return home with a reliable army of weapons, it may be better to never return at all. So I should have all the pieces I need. Let's go ahead and save my game in case we end up having to fight the Vithrak. Which, if that's the case, we will gun him down quick because Vithraks are mind controlling masters. Stun, dominate, charm, etc, etc, etc. Tanos. Amao Beast returns, bringing key parts, yes? I found strange notes with the other apprentices. Yes, key parts for Master's Door. Tanos' mandibles jitter and click rapidly. Find all key parts from all other apprentices. Then Tano give last key part. I have the key parts from the other apprentices. Amao Beast dealt with other pupils. No? Clever beast indeed. Tanos shivers with excitement and hands you something. Take final key piece and see Master. Tanos will go later. To be Master's new favorite, yes? The Vithrak bends its pinched waist and backs away. Come with me, Tanos. No, Tanos must stay. Finish spell. Much work still, yes? The Vithrak gestures to the work table and raises its bony shoulders in an approximation of a shrug. I'm going. Let's just see what he has here. Nothing of overt interest. I'm gonna rest before we go in because some of my guys are a little low on health. Nothing too drastic.
Your master awaits a worthy pupil. Let the apprentice who has perfected a spell and gathered the lessons of his fellows speak his purpose.
I'm ready to see Consul Hal.
First you shall prove your merit. A wizard must protect himself from the arcane and the mundane. From spellcaster and soldier alike. Of the many defenses available to the wizard, which comes first?
Strong armor.
Return to the lessons I have given you and your fellows before.
Okay.
Your master... A wizard must protect himself from the arcane and the mundane. Return to the...
Oh, crap.
Your master... A wizard
A
must
mighty staff.
return to the...
What?
Your master... A wizard must...
Who am I missing? What am I missing here? Oh wait, I bet I know. Wait, why didn't I get anything from him? It's like I didn't get the 4th key piece he promised me. What you do? Yes. Fine, I'll just steal your shit. Oh no, that wasn't right. What am I missing? I'm obviously missing something. It's just frustrating when, you know, I got the 3 key pieces. He should have given me his.
And what does the flame reveal?
Unless it's in this thing. But then how am I supposed to get it?
I'll see what I can do.
How do I increase mechanics? How do I increase mechanics? I'm not even sure if that's what I'm missing here. here we go. For some reason, I couldn't find the note. Tanos, more than any of the others, you have chosen a path that complements your natural strengths. Your mind is a maze, and use it to ensnare not only your thralls, but also your fellow pupils. They are blind to it because they look at you and see an animal. Which is why I shall only warn you once. Attempt your trickery on me, and I will give your corpse to Peldon. I feel the workings of your mind as surely as you feel a disturbance in your web. You would displace me as readily as you'd follow me. But the first defense of any wizard is a warded mind, and I've had centuries to strengthen mine. Okay. Now I can confront Consulhot. After I rest again. Now, let's try this again.
Your master, a wizard must pretend you have learned well. But a wizard must also defend against his own deficiencies, lest he fall to them.
Pride.
Which weakness is deadliest? Many fall by overestimating their own power. Yet for the wizard who understands the nature of magic, power is nearly limitless. What quality of magic is most critical to powerful spell work?
Melee ability. It could be shaped into any spell.
Yes, though few will ever grow skilled enough to wield it well. One test of your understanding remains. What is a wizard's true foe?
Mortality.
You may proceed.
Alright, I heard this fight can be tough. That's all I've heard. It's an endgame fight. But I've taken down a bloody dragon.
I'm on
if
the
I
trail.
can't do this, I don't deserve to win. Consulhot. An emaciated figure hunches over a stack of books. As you enter the room, it rises, and you feel as though you could see each rib and vertebrae shift into a place beneath a pale film of flesh. It turns, twisting wasted skin and tendons around its bones. 2 eyes burn from its angular, shrunken face.
Yes, you have the look of one who's lived by the sword. Yet you're a far cry from the hapless brutes camped above us.
Consulhot's eyes glitter.
What brings you to my study?
What are you? He raises a hand and turns it into the air before himself. The flesh is so thin that you can see the bones moving beneath it.
What did you expect to find? An old man hiding from his attackers? Or a young man taking the battle to them? Weak or strong, the flesh expires. To survive, one must transcend it.
His eyes dim as he watches you, waiting. You're a lich. He nods, the bone of his neck creak.
And beyond the grip of a common death. For I have already embraced an uncommon one.
I'm here for the Ngwithian phylactery.
If you knew what it was, then you should have known better than to challenge the man who's mastered it. But no matter. I was hoping you'd come. Spells are fueled by ambient essence in the ether. A miserly trickle of energy that leaks from the wheel.
He traces arcane shapes in the air around him.
Because the medium is so poor, A wizard must normally focus his efforts on the runes and incantations that channel it.
He tenses narrow fingers.
But imagine what could be done with a more powerful source of essence. A watcher's soul, for instance.
His eyes flash. Rictus grin twists his lips. Who are your rivals?
In my eyes or theirs? You've surely heard of the great archmages of Eora. Nina Gauth, Minoletta, Sitzel, and Kolakoth. Arkemir and Lengroth, too. We've all shaped the study and practice of magic.
Do you know
Just
who?
not always to our mutual taste.
Do you know who hired the Torn
One
Bannerman?
of the other archmages, no doubt.
He flicks his bony wrist.
My wager's on Arkemir or Lengroth, always hiding behind glamours and diversions. But it could have been any of my rivals.
Tell me about the phylactery.
Would you think to steal it from under my nose? As if it were so easy. A phylactery isn't some bauble I wear around my neck or hide in a chest. It's a complex layer of spellwork carved into my skull with runes and sealed with a peg of Adra.
The sparse flesh stretched across his cheek twitches at the memory.
It is the reason I'm here. Surviving.
What kind of magic requires the power of a Watcher's soul?
The most demanding and visionary kind. The kind that wizards have argued over for centuries. Names like Cadabald the Red and Mora of the Seven Hills. Even you must know of them.
He leans forward, his bones rattling in his fervor. Lore 13, you speak of time manipulation.
Indeed. And what a triumph it would be.
He flexes his bone-thin fingers.
The power to warp and wind time. Like a skein of wool wrapped about your finger. To strangle its flow to a mere trickle. Perhaps to reverse it altogether.
The pits of his eyes burn fever. Enough of this. Okay, so first things first, we're going to have her focus on him, as well as that, and he shall focus on him as well. Let her focus on the Death Guard. And he shall focus on this thing. Okay, they're stuck, so actually, no, let's do that on him. She can attack this. Just keep knocking him down if possible. Actually, you know what? Let's have him knock the Magus down. Let's have her focus on the Magus as well.
Rift! Stop!
Attack!
That's not very helpful.
This is getting nowhere.
I'm here.
Rift Ulikna!
It'll be good to rest.
Curses! This thing isn't doing the job.
I did it.
Right.
assign him.
Hey.
Huh? Huh?
Whew, good thing I sold most of my jewelry.
Okay, so that's a grimoire. That might be decent. We'll check that. That's crap. That's crap. Visage of Conceal. Oh, that's a kind of cool, and it's a pet. Definitely, I'll go to him. Pet. There we go. Of might, 2 might, 2 resolve, and it's a belt. Okay, not an upgrade for anybody. +9 deflection. We looked at one of those already. Oh, a couple new spells. All right.
Yeah.
The rusted red figures on this scroll look as though they were written in blood. No, I don't want to search it yet. I want to...
Huh?
Keeping an eye out.
The book contains a list of names, most of which are crossed off. You recognize the 4 names which haven't been touched yet. Sabal, Peldon, Tanos, and Uruk. As you draw close, the words on this scroll fade and disappear.
And what does the flame reveal?
The book burns your hands when you touch it. The clay tablet is ancient and most of the symbols inscribed upon it are indecipherable. The book burns your hands when you touch it. The rich fabric is as smooth as lambskin and softer than most beds. Scrolls. Sky Dragon Eye. Haven't seen one of those yet. Skein Bone. Ethosian Prayer. Misses of the Hand of Cult. And lockpicks. Okay, let's go take a look at these books. The shelves of this bookcase overflow of books, loose pages, and miscellaneous artifacts. Many of the spines you can see are scrawled with indecipherable glyphs, and more are completely blank. Proper search of this mess would probably take hours. Search the bookcase. Near the back of one shelf, you find a tome covered in strange symbols. It doesn't look like much at first, but you eventually recognize the symbols as incantations and the book and the grimoire. Hours of search and leave your back aching and your eyes sore. You don't find anything else of value. Gained a Battle War grimoire added to inventory. Nothing good there. Let's go take a look at this one.
Steady does it.
The shelves of the book, same thing. Digging through the shelves, you pick up something that feels like a stack of scrolls. On closer inspection, you realize that they're troll skins. Hours of searching, you don't find anything else of value. So 4 troll skins, okay. Let's go see that one guy, see what he has to say now that I've defeated Console Hop. Oh, I'm gonna have to kill the Void Seers as I, it's not a problem.
Look!
I'll have it in no time.
Okay, that's locked.
Dead on!
That's not very...
Can't get a good shot with this.
That's a good little fight. I had to divide and conquer. Beast is clever, yes, but Thanos cleverer still. I figured that was gonna happen.
Light, flame, and sound. We'll keep to ourselves.
Grimoire for him. Might be a decent ring. We'll take a look at it. Might be decent as well there. Dex of reflex. Okay, so what rings does she have? Same one. Okay, that's crap. Away with that. She can have that. Only usable by Ranger. She's already using one. Really, we just got the one side quest to go, and then we're on to beating the game. Well, along with the couple side quests that are in the same zone as beating the game. Or what I assume is beating the game. I could be wrong. I just know we're close because look at how we're cleaning up. I mean, I'm assuming these two are the Burial Isles last zone, I'm assuming. And then we got the Battle of Yenwood Field and True to Form, which takes place on the Burial Isle. So I have to take Caraves with us, but this I'll do first with my optimal party.
Huh?
I must say,
Okay, we're gonna save it there and call it a stream. We'll do the Battle of Yenwood next, and then we'll go to the Burial Isle. That's all that we have left, and then we're done with Pillars of Eternity. Feel good. Made real progress the past couple of days. Finished up the DLC tonight. And finished up one of the hard endgame side quests. One more endgame side quest to go, and then we beat the game. I appreciate everybody who came and watched me for a while. Y'all have a good evening, and Pons Eric's gonna be out of here till well, tomorrow's Friday. It's not my scheduled stream night, but World of Warcraft raiding for my guild is on hiatus until the new expansion. So I should be free to go ahead and raid Friday night. Or not raid Friday night, play Friday night. So we should finish this Friday night come hell or high water. I don't care if I have to stream for 25 hours. Yeah. I am going to beat this. Alright, y'all have a good evening. See ya.